Okay then, Helldivers, we are back. We've got loads to go over today as we are going to be venturing back into the most mysterious and most forgotten about plot threads over on the automaton sector with regards to the automaton terraforming project on Cyberstan, which is once again, after almost a year, now finally returned. We're going to give you guys the lowdown on the latest major order and tell you guys the previous based on what it is that you would have missed from around a year ago. It's crazy that this is working in real time, but they literally kept their word. We've also got some more talks going on from the Twitter page, and we're going to talk about the AMR, as people have been speculating quite a lot with regards to this weapon. With that being said, if you haven't already, smash that beautiful like button and subscribe with post notifications turned on. It'd be greatly appreciated. And check out our incredible sponsor, GamerSups, the company that offer esports athletes and gamers alike with the most effective and healthy energy drink option. And also, we've got merch lines dropping left, right, and center, and the clothes look pretty damn sleek. Link in the description. Use code CloudPlays at checkout for a cheeky discount, and make sure you get involved with that giveaway by putting in a red heart in the comment section below. It'll enter you in. We're going to announce the winner in just 2 days' time. With that being said, let's dive into the game and see what's happening right now in Helldivers 2. Now, before we get into the details of all of this, we're going to give you guys a rundown of the major order. Now, I am terribly ill, so I apologize if my voice is not on par, but we received a brand new major order that stated the following. In the early stages of the Second Galactic War, a daring Helldiver raid on Wasat liberated a top-secret Helldiver data center codenamed Database 1. Ongoing efforts to decrypt this data have so far been in limited success. However, intel discovered within the recently freed Ultramafic mine and Mentoria has identified an opportunity for a breakthrough. Enemy files indicate that data caches on Menkent and Asir Pass may contain encryption keys that would unlock data concerning 2 enigmatic keywords from Database 1. The key on Menkent would unlock intel regarding Vessel 00, and the cache on Asir Pass would unlock intel regarding the nucleus. This presents a critical choice. The automatons are expected to purge all data from one site as soon as the other is compromised. Very unlikely, only one encryption key can be recovered. The Helldivers must choose which intel to prioritize. They are ordered to liberate Menkent or Asir Pass. And taking a look at the Galactic War table, it seems that you guys have already made up your mind, as we are all now attacking Lezaf to make our way straight over towards Menkent. It essentially means we only need to liberate 2 overall planets to be able to get the keyword that we need to get sorted, rather than heading over towards Asir Pass, which would imply that we would have to take out 3 planet total, whether we went to Tash, over to Curia, over to Asir Pass, or even if we hit Tash, moving up towards Vernon Wells and across to Asir Pass. Considering we've got the incineration core over on Tash and an average resistance of 1.92, it seems highly unlikely we'll take the win. So going for Lezaf at 0.63 resistance, heading straight into Menkent, which I believe right now sits at a 2% resistance. This is our greatest opportunity to be able to get this done, with 4 days and 5 hours on the clock at the point of recording. Overall, this is a very interesting one indeed, mainly because this is probably one of the most mysterious and most forgotten about story arcs coming from the automatons, as at the beginning of the Second Galactic War, there was a database on Wasat that had a bunch of intercepted data. Now, we were only able to decrypt around 3 words from it, which was Vessel, Nuclear, and the Final Collective, but this is the success message that we received all that time ago, around last year. As you can see, they stated that it would take months to fully pass. And based on the way that this game has actually gone over the last year, they've definitely been working on the key intel. And interestingly, we are now finally back onto it. It seems that a lot of these main major orders and the storyline arcs that run in whole with them actually work in real time, as it has been months upon months since we received anything with regards to this mysterious and forgotten about thread, which is mainly revolved around terraforming project over on Cyberstan, which is for me quite interesting. We've all been wondering what it is that's happening over on Cyberstan for quite some time, and it seems now that we may be finally able to get some of these answers. heading over to get the Vessel 00 coding and figure out what's going on there is, for me, probably one of the most intriguing things that we've done in quite some time. Let me know in the comment section, were you there during the Second Galactic War start? Did you actually witness this major order run through play? I definitely did, and I was damn intrigued. I actually completely forgot that this thread even existed. Now, on top of that, we've also had some bad news with regards to the Gloom. As we can see on the Galactic War map right here, the Gloom is actually now spreading again, and with us being over on the automatons, without being our focus at the moment, it's definitely concerning. But we can see that we've now got Gloom research expeditions over on Istanu, as we're now in the low levels of the Gloom spreading over to Istanu, and also in the further right side of the regions, we have got Parshan as well, which is definitely being taken over by the Gloom. So it's definitely spreading quite substantially, and with us all focusing on the automatons at the moment, nobody really going for the liberation efforts on Istanu or on Parshan. It's definitely scary to know how far this Gloom is going to be able to spread. Let me know in the comments where you think this is going to go. In other news, though, they seem to be running down that lore narrative a lot more, as the Helldivers 2 Twitter page posted up this classified study right here, which stated that any unauthorized spread of the document or its contents will be investigated and prosecuted as treason. So I need to get this one out quickly, as the democracy officers likely to be on their way over already. But you can see right here that it states that there was a research group 37's main focus, which was for development of mass market consumer goods to strengthen the super Earth economy by bringing the fruits of the Gloom to the people, searching for use cases outside of Redacted and fuel for FTL travel. Essentially stating that they were planning on using E-711 for different ways of working, including things such as a bag of jelly divers, which, yes, people were then consuming and apparently had a slight cinnamon taste to it. Potential new flavor apparently is to be decided. They did other tests as well on deck chairs, ant colonies, and a couple of other redacted things, but overall it seems that they're trying to utilize E-711 for a lot more than they're putting out on. The second statement on this one states that Redacted deemed extremely lucrative, while others, like mixing E-711 with Redacted, proved to be extremely lethal and should never be attempted again. As stated by Dr. Morris, something open to the gates of hell. Should this ever see the light of day, humanity will never be the same again, and something's worrying, something death or worse. Essentially, they're trying to blend E-711 into different ways to try and make the mass market consumer goods a load better. It doesn't seem to be working, as even right now there seems to be a lot of non-safe products. Extremely concerning for the super citizens of Super Earth. In other news, though, yesterday was the start of the Ink Divers contest. Absolutely awesome that this is something that they're doing, but we just want to give you guys a quick reminder that you can head over to the Ink Divers 2025 posting over on their Discord and start sharing your drawings now. There are already a fair few people that have been issuing into this, and there's really, really good work over there. I think a lot of you guys genuinely are such fans of the game, and you've done some incredible work. So if you are an artist that enjoys drawing, whether it is digitally or just by hand, pencil and paper, make sure you do something and head in, because the development team will be itching to see it. And finally, we got to talk about the AMR, which right now is getting a load of attention, as 13,000 people upvoted this post right here saying, what happened to this thing? I wish it could have a support weapon that's worse than a primary in every way. The AMR has ergonomics similar to the Eruptor, with worse damage, same breakpoints, worse against groups, and takes up a support weapon and stratagem slot. It was okay when the snappy weak point obliterator, but now it's just painful. And as we can see via this other post right here, which hasn't gained as much traction and as much attention, but pretty much nails down the reasoning as to why, is we can see the way that the AMR used to look versus what it looks like now. I know a lot of you guys will probably say that it's a field of view causing this problem, but it definitely isn't, as it's revolving around how it is that the scope is being used at the same distance as regular size, making it borderline unusable. So the AMR has been pretty much redundant and isn't something that anybody is really wanting to use anymore. So it's definitely a support weapon that people need to look at over at Arrowhead. Nonetheless, though, my voice is definitely breaking at this point, so we're going to dive into your top comments and end the video here so I can get back to bed. But this first one here states from our previous video where we went over the win for the major order and a major buff that was due to come to the game. It states that the Illuminate need either new missions, new enemies, or 6 days of the same 3 missions is not great. Now, it's definitely not, and unfortunately they are the easiest to run through at the moment, as they seem to be probably the most strategically sound as far as performance goes, mainly because they don't have many different missions and they don't have many different enemy units. But yeah, they are definitely right. I'm expecting very soon some issues of the sub factions like we have with the Incineration Core or the Predator Strain to come through to the Illuminate at some stage soon, which may well be why it is that we've seen the Meridian Singularity actually come back into play. I'm just spitballing here, no facts, but it's just that tinfoil hat moment. This next comment states right here, the Gloom isn't supposed to be eradicated, it's supposed to be exploited. And yes, that is definitely the case, as it has been expanding already, as we have had dispatch notices come through that it's expanded over to Astanu and Partian, which is definitely concerning, considering we're now over on the automaton sector. The Gloom is pretty much going to be left just to expand and expand and expand. Let me know what you guys are thinking about that one, because the Gloom could get pretty damn large pretty damn quickly. And this final one states right here, based on the way those stalkers were clipped into each other, it looks like someone used a command like spawn 10 stalkers. 110%. We did try and take a look into it and couldn't figure out whether it was real or not, or if it was something that some hacker had actually pushed through. But nonetheless, we couldn't find any of the information with regards to that one. If it was real, my lord, I feel sorry for people playing this game right now. Nonetheless, unfortunately, that's all we've got time for today. If you haven't already, smash that beautiful like button, subscribe with post notifications turned on. Thanks again for watching, guys. I'm exhausted. I'm going to head back to bed. And as always, I'll see you in the clouds.